My name is Stasia Kauriga. I am here in New Hope, Pennsylvania, interviewing Dr.Ty, Culiner, who is a representative from the local grassroots environmental and animal rights group calling themselves D-CAAL, which stands for the Delaware Canal Anti-Annihilation League. Dr. Culiner, why was this group formed and when?
The group was first formed in 2010 in order to stop the killing of thousands and thousands of animals in the historic Delaware Canal, something which has been occurring year after year since the year 2006, from Easton, Pennsylvania, all the way down to the bottom of New Hope, a 37-mile stretch of canal.
And what's going on with the canal now?
There's a plan to fill the New Hope portion this summer. There's a couple of small groups, too, that have pushed for this no matter what the consequences. One specifically is made up of 7 women and 2 men, and they've joined forces with the so-called Friends of the Delaware Canal, called in the local media again and again to push their project forward. They want to see the canal filled this season so that it looks really pretty for tourists and makes the businesses look good, with no remorse at all for the thousands of animals that they'll be killing once again. They're pushing for the water to be filled, even though the canal is in horrible shape. But by the way, people come to New Hope even if there's no water in the canal.
Let me ask you this. Who from the state is in charge of the canal right now?
That would be the DCNR, the Department of Conservation and Natural Resources. They're ultimately in charge of overseeing any work that's done in the canal and the maintenance. They don't want to see the canal filled.
If the DCNR doesn't want to see the canal filled, why are they filling it?
Because these 2 little local groups are pushing them to do their bidding, saying that these little groups, represent the locals.
Is this true?
No, actually, we in our group passed around individual petitions from Easton all the way down to the bottom of New Hope. Then we went to Senator McElhenney with these petitions because he asked us for them in the first place to prove that people actually cared whether animals were dying in the canal or not. He said he'd remedy the situation if we showed him the petitions, but now he's saying it's too late for New Hope. The senator also promised that a liner would be installed from Center Bridge all the way down to the bottom of New Hope because the canal's leaking water. A liner's been installed but placed only in 2 little spots where the canal leaks into 2 businesses and 1 home. We pushed, of course, for the expanse of the entire canal. The private interest groups, the 2 of them, actually said that it was they who had suggested the liner. That was pretty funny.
Well, let me ask you this. Why is the liner needed?
The canal's really old. It hasn't been maintained. It's been a dry bed for years, so it cannot hold its water. By fall also, and early winter, the canal will be completely dry again because the liner won't be there. Also, they plan on installing a pump that will not run in winter, especially if the water freezes. So, without the canal holding its water, all the animals will be flopping around in the bottom of the canal again in fall and winter and dying.
So let me ask you this. Say you're members of the group or the actual state DCNR, did they make any suggestions on how to remedy this situation?
Absolutely. A lot of people have said why not make it into a dog park, a dog run, or a wildflower preserve. Even the DCNR thinks it's a total waste of taxpayer money not to do such things, but they are totally opposed to filling the canal. But these little local politicians who think they represent the people and the private interest group are pushing the state to fill the canal anyhow. By the way, when the animals were mentioned to these people, they said, "What animals?" So obviously they know so little about the canal itself, they must think the canal gets filled with tap water.
Thank you so much, Dr. Culiner, for the information.